In this lesson, we're going to solve quadratic equations in standard form. Standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. The first example, x squared equals x plus 30, is not set equal to 0, so it needs to be rewritten. So if we move the x over to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. If we move the 30 over to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. So now this equation has been set equal to 0. Factoring this trinomial, we need two numbers that multiply to negative 30 but add up to a negative 1. And that will give us two binomials, x minus 6 times x plus 5. Now each of these factors with a variable are set equal to 0. And solve for x. X will equal 6, x will equal negative 5. So our solutions are negative 5 and 6. All right, the next example will be x times 3x minus 20 equals negative 12. So the first step is to distribute the x for 3x squared minus 20x. And then since this has to be set equal to 0, move the negative 12 over to the other side of the equation. And when you do, it will become positive. So now this has to be factored. So we're going to take 3 times 12 for 36. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 36, but they need to add to negative 20. So negative 2 times negative 18 will be 36, and negative 2 plus negative 18 will equal negative 20. So the negative 2 and the negative 18 are used to rewrite the negative 20x. Since there are 4 terms, we need to factor by grouping. Looking at the first 2 terms, you're going to factor out an x, and you're left with 3x minus 2. The second 2 terms, factor out a negative 6, and you're left with 3x minus 2. So completing the factoring, it's 3x minus 2 times x minus 6 equals 0. Set each of these factors with a variable equal to 0, and then solve for x. So here we'll have 3x equals 2, x will equal 2/3, and then x will equal 6. So the two solutions are 2/3 and 6. All right, the last example will be x to the 4th equals 2x to the 3rd plus 15x squared. Now again, this needs to be set equal to 0, and I want to keep my first term positive, so I'm going to move the 2x to the 3rd over, so it will become negative. Then I'll move the 15x squared over to the other side of the equation, and it will become negative. Factoring here, we can factor out a greatest common factor of x squared. So we'll have x squared times x squared minus 2x minus 15 equals 0. So to factor this trinomial in the parentheses, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 15 but add up to negative 2. So what would work there? Well, negative 5 and a positive 3 would work. And then you don't want to forget the greatest common factor that you factored out. Now we have 3 factors that have to be set equal to 0. And solving for x, here x will equal 0, x will equal 5, x will equal negative 3. So there are 3 solutions, negative 3, 0, and 5.